Hi guys, in this video we're going to show you some of the changes to Big Red Book Payroll due to Auto Enrollment. In this example, I have imported the company from 2025 into 2026 already, and I've already ran the RPN lookup. What you'll notice is that there's a new button at the top of the screen called APN lookup. I'm going to just click into that, and you want to click into this before you run your payrolls. So you run it every time before you do a payroll. You click OK on this, and what it'll do is list two tabs, one with a list of the employees that have an APN below there, and then this tab here, APNs retrieved, is just showing which ones were retrieved as I did the APN lookup just right there. So it looks quite similar in a way, I suppose, to the RPN lookup in one way. From here, what I can do as well is there's a handy button here for print email A letters. So if I click on that, it will allow me to filter the employees, so I can look at just if I want the new enrollments only or all employees. I can also filter from here as well by a column, so I want to say filter by the employee number. And we'll just take the example here of Melissa. Now we could select an option here to print all employee letters or print or email all employee letters, or we can there's like an option there for select all, unselect all. In this case I'm going to unselect print all, and I'm just going to set Melissa's one to print. So if I go to print this, it'll allow me to it'll basically allow me to save it into a folder on the machine, and I just have an example of what that letter looks like here. So it's showing all that type of information. So I'm just going to minimize that again. So I'm going to close out of that screen now, and then close the screen as well. I can get into that section for the letters at any stage. So I just go into the A button at the top there, and I have that option there, A enrollment letters there. So what we might look at next is the employees section. So if I go in here to employees, and we're just again looking at Melissa's record, what I'm looking at here is the auto enrollment box around here. So it's showing the employee percentage, 1.5 there, and the employer percentage as well. It's also showing me here that the status is active and that they were auto enrolled in this case. So that change event that we're seeing there may show differently for different people depending on if somebody left auto enrollment and then returned to it. In this case, they were auto enrolled into it. So it's just a handy record there on it. So I can close out of that there. What I'm going to do next is I'm going to just do a very quick pay run, just so I can move on to show you the submission section. So I'm going to just go into timesheets, and I'm going to just add one quickly there, just to show you on the timesheets as well. You'll now have an auto enrollment deduction showing up here on it. So I can see that on Melissa's record. So I'm going to close out of that. I'm going to go to process. Anytime it prompts to do a backup, always a good idea to do a backup. And I'm going to just choose a run. And the run date I'm choosing for this, I'm just going for 1st of the 1st, 26 weekly, and calculate pay. And down here near the bottom, I have employee A and employer A. So I see the deduction from the employee and the employer at this stage. So I can close that screen then. What I look at next maybe is printing the payslips. So if we, just to show you how the payslip shows with those figures on it. So if we go in print payslips, we just want Melissa's one. We're just going to preview it. We're going to see a section at the top for the employer deduction there. And then down the bottom left, we see a section for the employee deduction. So we can close out of that screen now at that point. And then we can move into the submission screen. So we'd go into submit the pay run as normal. In this case, I won't actually do the submission as it's just a demo, but when you go to submit it, it's going to prompt you to do the A submission as well. Or in fact, if you just close the screen, it'll prompt you as well to do that. So it'll say auto enrollments are awaiting submission. Do you wish to submit these? And we can go to yes on that. and then you'll be able to make your submission there at that point as well. So it is actually quite straightforward. From your kind of weekly, monthly, fortnightly pay runs, you kind of some of the main things you're adding really is you're doing that AEPN lookup before you do your pay run, and after you do your submission, you're doing your AE submission. So it's quite handy from that point. Also, will be updates on reports. So for example, if we go to the payment inquiry report here, and I'm just going to scroll across here on it, I can see the employee AE figure there and the employer AE figure there. Okay guys, thanks for watching there.